What's cracking, ladies and gentlemen? 49 coming at your 9th community shoutcast for the Aspect of Gaming Dota 2 community crackdown. We are just loading into a remake lobby of 5IP up against Explosive Action. They went to the draft in CM, but they decided to remake to enable spectators. So 5IP, they're the winners of the ODL2, which is the OUSA Dota League Season 2 over down here in Dunedin. So it's a local tournament for Dunedin-based players, especially in those in university. Explosive Action haven't cast in any of their games yet, but 5IP, they're going for their trademark strategy. This is the strategy that enabled them to win the ODL2, is because you've got the PA in the mid lane, you've got Omni Knight dual laning with the Lich, and then you've got the Wraith King all with the Undying, and then you've got the dual lane with the Wraith King Lich, all with the Undying with the Wraith King, so it provides you a lot of aggressive pressure. It works very well against tri lanes, because if you go on an Omni Knight with the Undying there, you're not going to be able to kill the Omni Knight A, and they can actually turn around and go for a retaliatory kill. And if you have a dual lane up against a Doombringer, you're able to shut them down quite effectively. So we are just going to wait for them to go through their picks. So it looks like Death Prophet, Doombringer, as well as the Luna are going to be the three cores coming up from Explosive Action. So Luna tri lane with the Earthshaker, Shadow Shaman, Death Prophet in the mid lane, and Doombringer in the off lane. Very standard pseudo TI 4 level draft coming up from them. Relies on the Death Ball push that you get from the Death Prophet, as well as with the Luna. So every single time their ultimates are up, once the core items are available, so Doombringer probably going to be going Arcane into Mech. So he's going to be the Mech carrier for team, then go building towards a Blink Dagger. Death Prophet could also go for the mech as well, but if Doombringer is able to find it, you might as well go for the early Yule Scepter up on her. It's going to introduce the players from both teams over on Explosive Action. Ica is going to be the mid lane Death Prophet. Actually, something with the Sage's Mark, so it couldn't. Looks like it's a side lane Death Prophet. Data Force looks like he's going over into what looks like the mid lane. So we're going to be seeing a mid lane Luna. Slim Jim going to be the Earthshaker. Fuzzy Buzzy going to be a Doombringer. Looks like a bit of an unfortunate laning situation going on. Yeah, now he's rotating over to the off lane. He's got the safety ward as well as the stout shield. And Fusion Core going to be the 5 position Shadow Shaman, although in this case he's the 4 well, he's the 5 until Slim Jim gets a Blink Dagger. Once he gets the Blink Dagger, then it switches. But immediate ward placement coming up from 5IP. This is to ensure that he can spot out any runes and ensure that it's difficult to rotate on Mule. And since they're placing a lot of emphasis on Mule, he's the true 1 position farmer, so running into the mid lane. It's going to be Mule over in the Phantom Assassin only. He's going to be a 3 position as the Wraith King. His job is to absorb as much fire as possible his engagements, because you've got the Wraith King who's got that Reincarnate, and then you have the Omni Knight with the Guardian Angel. Ghoulie going to be the 5 position Lich. He's exceptionally talented on that Lich, able to land a huge amount of GG Chain Frost. Wolfcant going to be the offlane Omni Knight. And looks like Broder, his older brother, is going to be rotating in as the 5 position Undying. He's going to be picking up the Spore Owners for his team. Already got a TP up on them to be their rotate. And Ghoulie immediately rotates to the mid lane, denies a creep to ensure that Mule's going to have a good start. If he's left alone against the Luna, actually should be able to do quite well, because with that Quelling Blade, he nullifies the Luna Blessing advantage that Luna has, which is dependent upon to be able to out CS. And the last time we saw a tri-lane Death Prophet actually completely fell apart. Since the biggest drawback of the Death Prophet, she's a hero that only really works when you've got equal amounts of farm and levels, or if you're ahead. You have to be ahead of them to really be able to capitalize, since you need that Exorcism up ASAP. Exorcism level 1, it's one of the worst level 1 ultimates, just because it doesn't give you as much, same with Coup de Grace, so you want to get level 11 ASAP. And Wolfcant, they can't really go aggressively on the Omni Knight. It's unusual he chose to go for Purification at 1. You usually see them hold on to skill point in case he needs that repel. But with the Purification and with the repel, they can't actually kill him. They can try to fissure block him, so they got that avenue of approach. And Broder, playing very aggressive, got a 3-man decay stack. He's got 5 charges of that decay up. He's beefy as absolute hell. Throws out 1 right click over an Icus. Drops a good chunk of his life. Over in the top lane only, as well as Ghoulie, they should be having a fairly easy lane up against the Doombringer. Doombringer is the Radiant off lane. He doesn't have boots, so he's going to eat a Frostbox from Ghoulie, and he does have easy access to that hard camp, so if he's able to find himself a Satyr, he can have that HP sustain. And Mule in the mid lane. Looks like he is getting out CS by 1 by Data Force. But the Stifling Dagger is going to start to come into play a lot more. Something with the Calling Blade, it gives him a lot more lasting capabilities. PA, got an excellent animation, just has low base damage. So the Mule, a lot of pressure is going to fall on him, as well as Wolfcant. Over in the bottom lane, they're playing very aggressively up against Broder. Broder, he's got decay stacks, Purification flies. He actually stands his ground, gets the 3-man decay. Wolfcant's going to start smacking a fool. He's going to wait until he gets level 2 before he gets to repel. Might actually even opt for a Degen Aura. Broder's fleeing for his life. He's got decay coming up cooldown, so he can actually stand his ground, turn around. He eats a fissure. 1 more right click could be enough. Never mind, he's able to do it, and they get first blood. If Broder dies now, it's still worth it. It's a dual lane getting first blood against a tri lane. And so things are already looking to Wolfcant's favor, but Wolfcant fortunately called out the shackles. It could actually be 2. He's got that Degen Aura though, and it's throwing that snare to ensure that Slim Jim can't get that last hit in. Degen Aura is absolutely absurd because it now applies that 2-second sticky. And Fusion Core, it's a huge amount of damage. Actually, Tombstone dropped for that. If you got 1 more right click over on Fusion Core, would have dropped him below Deathlust range. And so the zombie would have that buff. Unfortunately, not able to do so, and with Tombstone down, they can now play a lot more aggressively. Tombstone, you have to essentially treat it as an ultimate in the early stages of the game, because every time Tombstone is off cooldown, you don't want to fight against into the Undying unless you can lock him down and kill him before he's able to get it off. but it's very difficult to do so, and he's constantly up in your face, spamming out that decay. And Mule in the mid lane, he's actually got more denies than the Luna, which is a lot more important, because denies in the mid lane, and a lot more important, especially since if Mule's able to hit level 6 before Delta Force does, he can play a lot more aggressively. Luna is entirely dependent on Eclipse to deal with the PA. But we've got Brodo rotating into mid lane with a double damage, he's standing his ground with the level 1 point up in blow because it's PRD. Mule should be able to get this. Stifling Dagger unfortunately doesn't have enough for the Blink Strike, but Brodo just smacks him down. The Left 4 Dead coming out from 5 IP. And Ghoulie doing what Lich does best. When you're in solo offlane and you're dealing with a Lich, every single time you go to get a creep, you're eating a Frost Blast in the face. He's going to provide that macro advantage of depriving you of golden experience. And only because he started with boots first, he can play very aggressively. Looks like he opted for Tread's going to be going towards a Blink Dagger as his first big item. Because his job isn't necessarily to carry. He can carry if he gets enough farm, but you need that Blink up on Wraith King ASAP so you can start making plays. Because when the Reincarnate's off cooldown, when the Reincarnate is available, you play hyper aggressive, because if you could get a successful Reincarnate in an early engagement, you're guaranteed to win that fight. They don't have enough damage that early on, as long as the rest of your team is there to be able to back you up, and with that Guardian Angel Purification as well, very difficult to be able to deal with that Wraith King, at least being able to kill him off twice. And Wolfgunt, now that he's got a point up in the repel, he can play a lot more aggressively in this lane, because he knows they won't have enough lockdown damage to be able to kill him unless he gets massively called out of position. But with that safety wall being placed, actually, looks like the Radiant placed a very aggressive pub ward. You usually don't want to go for this because, yeah, it's incredibly easy to spot it out. Because you're going to assume that their safe lane, Farm's going to be placing a safety ward there. And if you go for a ward there, well, it does provide you vision of this area, as well as the rune. It's too greedy. It's very obvious that you placed that ward. Especially since you know that their offlaner is going to be going for a safety ward. So you could usually guess that they're going to be placing a ward either there or there. So you never want to be able to place a ward in an obvious spot. Since Brodo, he's able to clean up a fair amount of gold from that. In terms of last hits, looks like Omni is actually leading the CS scoreboard. Doom, even though he's able to maintain some kind of experience and a gold parity just through Devour, he's having a very difficult time. If it wasn't a Doom Ring, if it was something like a Faceless Void, he'd actually been completely driven out of the lane by now because he's constantly eating the Frost Blast. Omni can play very aggressively whenever he's low. He's actually opted to hold on to his skill points for now. So good recognition coming out from Omni. If you skill the Vampiric early on, it pushes your creep wave out. And so it means that Doom's getting a lot more free experience. And you don't really want early points in the Mortal Strike unless you're going to go for a very aggressive, or if you're going for a late game carry kind of Wraith King build. If you're in pubs, you're more than happy to do so. But usually you want to go for a point in stats and the point over in the Vampiric or a Mule. Immediate panic ping coming out. He knows they're rotating in. They're rotated without smoke. Earthshaker putting himself in a good enough position. Unfortunately, Fissure Block's on the wrong side. It's the intrinsic weakness of the Earthshaker is if you can only play as aggressively as an Earthshaker if you've got a good enough player to be able to consistently be able to block them off. Otherwise, if you don't, you do more harm than good. You guarantee that they get away if you can catch them on the wrong side of that fissure. And Mule, now with that coup de grace available, Luna has to be very worried, at least until she picks up a clip. But she goes in. Looks like Slim Jim is able to TP on out of there. Wolfgunt's just picked up his Arcane Boots, and left alone against the Death Prophet, he's actually finding a fair amount of farm. He's 24 for 7, so he's actually out CSing Icus. And the reason why Death Prophet in the safe lane doesn't work is in the mid lane, Death Prophet, you're able to use the Crypt Swarm to harass the enemy hero, get creeps, and push the creep equilibrium at the same time. And so it guarantees you rune control. Especially with 2 points up in the Witchcraft, you're guaranteed to be the win of the rune race. Because you've got the superior movement speed, you're always going to be pushing the wave out. So if they try to contest you for runes, you can actually kill them. But when you're over in the safe lane, or if you're over in the side lane, because you don't have the ability to be the bottle craw, since it takes so much longer, you don't have access to the runes. Or if you do leave your lane for that long to go for a rune, you're going to lose that lane anyway. And so with only passive mana regen coming in from the Sage's Mask, you don't have enough sustain to be able to control the lane. Because Death Prophet, her attack animation is god-awful, even though she has great damage. It looks like Lich over in top lane did bring down Fuzzy Buzzy. No Chain Frost committed for that. Looks like the Hellfire Blast into the Frost Blast, followed by a few right clicks. And only a bit of a misplay coming up from him. When you're playing a Wraith King, you never want to skill Reincarnate at 6 until you absolutely need it. You could level up Reincarnate even if you're stunned or silenced or hexed. There's nothing that will stop you from leveling up that Reincarnate, so you hold on to that skill point until you want to Reincarnate. Because if they have to waste that Reincarnate early on, it becomes absolutely useless. While I say that, Fusion Call, one more right click from Wolfgunt, and the Omniscience says no. Pops that Guardian, shoots the dive over an Icus. Icus doesn't have enough mana to be able to use the Crypt Swarm, but Sports out rotating him. Mule now comes in, throws out one more right click, got a coup de grace crit. Eclipse flies as well, but Data Force should be taking a fall. There's enough heal and sustainability. They can't really do anything in Mule. He's forced out, so he ate the majority of that Eclipse. So the level 1 Eclipse being wasted. Wolfgunt should be taking falls. Lucid Beam's going to clean him up. Slim Jim gets a fantastic Fissure Block over in Brodo. Is able to force him out. He does have the Soul Rip to keep him hell and hardy. And it looks like they're able to clean up Mule off the back of that as well. So more than happy to trade kills for kills, especially since they are behind. But while that's happening, only he's going to be the ticking time bomb. Once he picks up his Blink Dagger, especially with that Reincarnate available, he could go ham. He just blinks in on the Shadow Shaman, the Earthshaker. What are they going to do? If they kill him, he reincarnates, laughs in your face, and then punches you again. If you don't kill him, he's still walk all over your support, especially with the early point up and crit. So in pub games, you usually see maxed out crit second, or if you're playing Wraith King in more of a carry position role, because Wraith King's crit is actually superior to the coup de grace, at least the level 1 coup de grace. Because coup de grace, a fairly average crit at level 1, once it's level 2, that's when it starts to become a lot more scary. Because of the fact that it's PRD, when you're playing PA mid especially, what you could do is you can actually prime your coup de grace. Because it's pseudo-random, every time you don't crit, it increases the likelihood of your next attack critting. So you hit a creep once or twice, if you don't crit, then you then throw a Stifling Dagger on Icus, then you Blink Strike on him, because you're guaranteed to get a coup de grace crit during the duration of the Blink Strike. You might even get 2. And that's enough for you to usually deal a fair amount of chip damage, even go for kills. As we see right now, Mule gets 2 coup de grace crits as well as the coup de grace crit on the Stifling Dagger, able to instantly kill Icus. This is the reason why Phantom Assassin works in the mid lane, is if you're able to jig the PRD to your hand. Slim Jim does have fish, unfortunately, not able to block anyone. Broder is walking all over him. Slim Jim, he does have boots up. Tombstone has been dropped, so Slim Jim actually running low as opposed to running high. Data Force is sitting there at the end of this room. Wolfcart actually could be taken for. He's unable to get that purification off. He died right before he did, so the intrinsic weakness of the Omni Knight. Fusion Call is going to be a retaliatory kill, as Rod's going to smack him down. The zombies should be able to clean him up, unless they're able to bring down Tombstone in time. Looks like they are able to do so. So good retaliatory kill coming out from explosive actions. They don't trade anything, and they're able to farm up the Tombstone. Tombstone's worth a lot of gold. And so a bit unfortunate that the cast point from the Omni Knight wasn't low enough for him to get that purification off. Ether Shock's got a 0 cast point compared to the 0.54 over in the Omni Knight. It's the biggest weakness of the hero. It's why when teams in the competitive scene, whenever you do see an Omni Knight pick up, you go for something like a Disruptive. Because you got 0 cast point in the Static Storm. When you see Omni Knight waving his hammer, you catch him out with the Static Storm, or you pick up something like a Skywrath Mage and use the Ancient Seal. But while that's happening, Mule in the mid lane, farming up an absolute storm. And the advantage of the mid lane Phantom Assassin is you're going to be hitting level 11 a lot earlier. And when you have that level 2 coup de grace, things become very scary. Because Phantom Assassin, you can play her as an active ganking hero if you're able to get that level 2 coup de grace ASAP. Just because you deal so much damage with your first salvo of strikes coming in from the Blink Strike, that you're able to kill them outright before they can do anything to respond. So Mule, going to keep throwing out that Stifling Dagger. Going to be jigging his PRD until he is guaranteed a coup de grace crit, and then he can choose to play very aggressively against Icus. As Death Prophet, face boots up on him, most likely going to be going forward to that Yule Scepter. It's the reason why she started off with the Sage's Mask, I presume. You usually don't want to start with Sage's Mask at level 1 because you don't have enough intelligence to make good use of it. Ring of Basilius will give you more mana regen until you get above 29 int. And at that point, it's not really going to be worth it. It'd be better off starting with the Ring of Basilius since it at least gives you base damage and armor. Right, only blinks forward, catch them out, Blink Strike, and Mule just cuts him down. So another going in favor of the Phantom Assassin is going to hit level 2 coup de grace, and while it's there in the bottom lane, Wolfcart and Broder, the two brothers from Dunedin, smack down Data Force, and they should be able to do a fair amount of chip damage to that tower. I don't think they've got enough damage to bring the tower down with rotations coming in, and over in the top lane, looks like only goes once again over in Slim Jim. So the early Blink Dagger doing a lot of work. It's the power of the Wraith King if you're able to find a very timely blink, as Wraith King's only weakness is he's very slow as a melee hero. He's got very low time on target. The only way he has to be able to ensure he gets hits in is with that Ray Fire Blast. And Ray Fire Blast is a very efficient nuke for single target DPS because it provides a snare on top of it. But because Wraith King is so slow, you either want to go for an Orb of Venom very early on to be able to ensure you get all these hits in, or you want to go for something like a Blink Dagger so you can immediately close the distance. Especially since once the Yule Scepter comes online, it's very easy to disjoint Ray Fire Blast with a very slow projectile speed. And so the Yule Scepter can be used to disjoint it, so once that comes online for Icus, he becomes a lot more dangerous. Especially because if Mule throws out the dagger and blinks on top of him, you pop excess of him, you Yule cycling yourself up, and you can stand your ground. But Mule, he's going for a basher first, so usually we see something like Phase Drum coming up from him. Decide to mix it up now. And he actually opted to max out Blink Strike as opposed to Blur. You usually see Blur maxed out second. Coup de grace crit. Level 2 coup de grace. There's so much work over in Icus as kill damage. Repel now being used, and you can't stop the Phantom Assassin. Eclipses bring down Wolfcart before he's able to get off the Guardian Angel. Broder takes a lot of damage from that Echo Stomp. Mass Serpent Ward's being used as well aggressively, so it's driving them back. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get a trap. Ghoulie caught up with the Shackles. He used the Chain Frost early, so he doesn't have it available. Mule backing himself, he's going to Boulder Crow himself up. He can try to turn around and stand up on Data Force, but only comes in waiting from the wings. That Blink Strike and one more coup de grace crit. And this is the advantage of the PA mid. You've got that disengage capability as flash sustain coming in from the bottle, similar to a Templar Assassin. If you're able to get a good bottle charge off during engagement when you disengage, you can re-engage immediately with the Siphoning Dagger as well as the Blink Strike, and that level 2 coup de grace setting up both those kills. Wolfcart now picked up Vladimir's offering, so his sole job is to function similar to a Wisp over on the PA. He's just going to make sure that PA is able to do her thing uncontested, because when you get that level 4 repel, 12-second BKB on demand with 2 seconds of downtime. It's got a 14-second cooldown and lasts for 12 seconds. It's absolutely absurd. The only reason why Omni Knight is balanced is because it's so difficult to put him in a laning situation. Because you ideally want to put him in a dual lane to ensure that he doesn't get completely zoned out. You can put him in an off lane, he's not too bad at that, but he's fairly greedy as well. You want to find gold as well as experience on him. And so these dual lanes work when you're picking up very aggressive dual lane heroes like the Lich or like the Undying. They don't give a damn if you clash 2v3, they can actually turn it around and even go for kills. It's something that sneaky Nyx Assassins did before TI4. They used to run Disruptor as well as the Nyx Assassin. Disruptor would max out the Thunderstrike. It's the only situation when you want to max out Thunderstrike unless you're mid, but Disruptor's an awful mid hero because you can't really capitalize from that, but that's another point. So the rationale behind what sneaky Nyx Assassin would do in the dual lanes against a tri-lane is you have Nyx up front and Disruptor hanging back. If you go on the Nyx, he's guaranteed to get a carry pace off, or at least turn around with an Impale. And then the Disruptor throws out the Thunderstrike, throws out a few right clicks, and even if you do kill Nyx, you're always trading. If you trade in a dual lane against a tri-lane, the dual lane's always going to come out on top, because you're getting more experience, you're getting more gold, and if their supports are experienced up, they start to fall apart, especially when the mid game kicks in. So Wolfguard, one level off having that maxed out repel. He repels himself, Exorcism being forced by Icus. And whenever you're forced to use Exorcism defensively, so you're not using it to win the team fight or use it to be able to take a tower, you give the enemy team a 110-second window. And because explosive action, their lineup is so heavily dependent on snowballing and getting that death ball push coming, because they're constantly being caught out of position like this, because they're forced to use their ults reactively as opposed to proactively, they now can't fight until their ultimates come online. And now Mule has an Aegis as well as the Guardian Angel and the Repel. He's effectively got 3 lives. And the Bastion now up on him. He's reached the point of critical mass where if he jumps on the target, he's guaranteed to kill them within the duration of the Blink Strike. And so you can start a fight 4v5. Wolfguard repels himself, runs forward, he's got the Guardian Angel available. Slim Jim very far forward, throws it at Fissure, gets caught out with the Siphoning Dagger crit. Guardian Angel as well as the Echo Slam, Chain Frost now flying back and forth, Fusion Core as well as Fuzzy Buzzy taking a huge amount of damage. Mule gets a crit as well as a bash, Fuzzy Buzzy should be taking a fall as well. No Doom available, no ultimates up. I don't know why they chose to commit to that with just the Mass Surfer Wards, considering that lineup is dependent on their ultimates. Mule able to find a triple kill off the back of that, fantastic initiation coming in from him, throwing out the dagger. Broder TPing forward very aggressively, knowing the rest of his team is there. All he has to do is drop the tombstone and he's done his job. And so explosive action, really overcommitting. When you're playing a death ball lineup, you cannot afford to lose any fight. It's 90% execution, 10% draft. If you lose a single fight against a lineup that's got a lot more late game potential than you, you start to lose control of the game. Because you're already going to be EXP stuff in terms of experience, 14,000 experience lead in favor of 5 IP. Because they're running these dual lanes, because they have the macro advantage coming in from the Lich, and because in terms of last hits, they're still leading the CS scoreboards. And the gold lead as well. The gold lead's also critical, but not as important as the experience lead. About 10,000 gold lead. Slim Jim does deny tower, but Mule should be able to smack him down. We do have rotations coming in from the Shadow Shaman, so they might actually be able to turn this around. The Blur doing a lot of work there. Mule standing, he's got the Aegis Demon, so he doesn't really give a damn if he dies. They should be able to bring him down. Stifling Dagger will be coming up from him, so Slim Jim should be taking full. Fuzzy Buzzy's actually there. Mule might have overcommitted. If the Doom was available, could have turned that around, but Broder immediately comes in. And only, looks like he actually just took a solo kill over in the bottom lane. Taking a fair amount of damage, just TPs himself on out of there. Actually, looks like he dies to the neutrals, so misplay's coming out from 5 IP. It looks like he hasn't used his Reincarnate yet, so he's got the level 2 Reincarnate, and that makes a huge difference. You want level 2 Reincarnate ASAP, just because it cuts down the Reincarnate time by 100 seconds, and only the just fucking having caught on camera as well. Bit unfortunate that that happened to him, but what can you do? Luna, Data Force going for a very greedy build. Considering you went Luna mid, you never go greed on a Luna mid. You can't afford to go greed, because you have to be the one to create space. You need to go for that early BKB so you can try to take these engagements. Or at the very least, you want to pick up treads into Drums of Endurance just so you can stand in these engagements. Because if you're going for greed, PA blinks on you and kills you in 3 hits. You don't have any survivability, or even failing that, only blinks on you, stuns you with the Wraith King, starts smacking you. You need a BKB to be able to stand tall in these engagements, especially when you have a death ball oriented lineup. Because past the 35-minute mark, the Shadow Shaman, because you're playing so far from behind, he's not going to do all too much work in these engagements. Shadow Shaman's a terrible hero when you're playing from behind, because he dies very quickly. Mule throws out Siphoning Dagger, blinks on him, Shadow Shaman's dead. Especially with the repel up, he can't do anything. He can't even run away from Mule with that Siphoning Dagger constantly flying at him. Phantom Assassin looks like he could be going towards a Desolator, since he doesn't have to go for a BKB. So Omni Knight's there to save him 4,000 gold, and Desolator, very early Desolator on the PA, especially considering the fact that Earthjaker and Shadow Shaman very low armor. Absolutely horrific. Only leading to charge. Icus eats a Stifling Dagger crit, loses a third of his life. Wraith Fire Blast Cloud as well. Only he's got a Reincarnate. He doesn't really give a damn. Mule's got a Reincarnate. Mass Someone's been dropped defensively. Fuzzy Buzzy, 1 crit. Echo Slam flies. Guardian Angels be used to negate all the damage coming up the wards. Slim just taking a fall. Infusion Core, my friend. Only's there to smack you down. So he's making up for his misplay. That's a tier 2, and potentially even a lot of damage that we're going to be done for the tier 3. The one good thing Explosive Action have going for them is they're so low level, they'll be able to reincarnate in time. But that being said, they can still choose to commit to this if they really want to. They do have their ultimate up. Looks like Doom was used earlier. I believe it was used on... I'm not too sure actually who was used on. Didn't quite catch that. but the only target that you want to really be dooming in these engagements is the Omni Knight. Every single time Doom fails to catch out the Omni Knight with the Doom, you're going to lose that fight. Icus runs forward, gets caught out with a coup de grace crit as well as the Cranium Basher. When the Basher comes online in PA, you can't afford to be in range of her, because you're guaranteed to get a Cranium Basher proc with the Blink Strike, and you're also guaranteed to get a coup de grace proc. And so that's enough to be able to kill most heroes. You never want to be anywhere near the PA, unless you have support nearby, so you can disable it when she goes in. But with the Repel, you can't even do that. So 5 IP, pulling out some Dunedin level meta, and really showing it off. Only, now Blade Mail up on them. Blade Mail's fantastic on the Wraith King, because you've got to reincarnate. You don't care if you don't. In fact, you want them to target you. Your sole job is to act as a retard magnet. Jump on top of them, get up in their face, force them to deal with you, because while they're dealing with you, PA runs around and cuts you down. If you don't focus the Wraith King with the Mortal Strike, you're actually dealing a huge amount of damage, especially to the support heroes. So that's what the Blink Dagger does, and because you've got uncontrolled AoE coming in the form of the Echo Slam, the Exorcism as well as the Eclipse, when you pop that Blade Mail, Data Force, because he doesn't have a BKB, if the Eclipse bounces happen to go over on Only, he's gonna die before Only does. And if you do kill the Wraith King, he doesn't give a damn, he's coming back to life with the Reincarnate. So Blade Mail does a huge amount of work over on the Wraith King. Actually, it's a fairly cost-efficient item as well, and it gives him a lot more of everything he needs. And Icus, being pinged down, he's very far out of position, Brother leading the charge, Only blinks very far forward, catches him out. Mule, beyond godlike, one coup de grace crit, he's taken one death this entire game. They should be able to take that tattoo, and things are very quickly slipping out of control of explosive action. Mule's reached the point of critical mass where he can actually 1v5 their entire team, so long as he's repelled. He's got that Desolator, so he's guaranteed to kill a target within the Blink Strike, even if he doesn't crit. He's got so much damage that's coming out from that, especially if he goes on Fusion Core. Fusion Core's got 5 armor. You've got -7 armor coming out from the Desolator. That alone is going to be enough for me to bring down Only. Goes in. Doom's being used on the Wraith King. He's the lowest priority Doom target in the game. He's got a second life, for Christ's sake. Why are you dooming the Wraith King? He's a giant melee creep. He doesn't care if he dies. He's got a guaranteed comeback mechanic. You want to doom the Omni Knight because he's the only reason they're able to win these fights. With the Guardian Angel and with the Repel, Mule can just run all over them. The only reason why this combo works is because you have the Omni Knight with the PA. Guardian Angel will be used as a fountain farming on the first rampage of the DCC2, and we've got GG being called 19 minutes into the game. So 5 IP, pulling out the style that they're best known for in the ODL2, taking enemy teams by surprise, and it will take a very convincing victory up against Explosive Action, who unfortunately are now out of the DCC2. Going to be taking a quick break, and I think we'll be back in about 15 minutes for the next round. Stay tuned.